Ever wondered why your resume is getting rejected by companies? And what if I told you that I was in the same situation? I was getting rejection after rejection, but with these simple tweaks, I was able to land into companies like Amazon, Meta, JP Morgan, and 20 other such companies. Today, I'm going to share with you such tips that you can use in your resume building and get your resume shortlisted into these companies. Let's get started. Alright, let me start with the agenda of the video. I will start with the blockers that I faced while I was applying for the jobs. Then I will share with you some powerful tweaks that I made to my resume and that let me land into big companies. And then I will share with you how to fine tune your resume for your best use case, as everybody's scenario is unique. And lastly, I'll share with you from interviewer's perspective how you can remember important things and what should you do and what should you never do. So, sounds exciting? Let's begin with this. Alright, so for people who are new to the channel, let me share that I'm Vaibhav and I'm working as a data engineer with Amazon London. I have total 10 years of experience working as a software engineer but aligned to the data world. So I've wear many hats like data analyst, data engineer, and I've also worked on the role of data scientist. But I found my best fit as data engineer because that's how my mind works, that's how my brain is wired, and that's what I love to do. Previously, I worked at Barclays for around 7 years, and before that, I worked at Infosys for 4 years. You can find me on LinkedIn using this URL, and of course, you're watching this channel, which is Tech with Vam. I've completed my education from Indian School of Business, where I did masters or advanced masters in business analytics. That has really helped me out in landing these jobs and moving abroad to London. So let me start with my story. I was facing rejection after rejection. I was not able to figure out why things are getting wrong. I was preparing hard, but my resume was not landing into HR's inbox or not getting shortlisted. So despite of doing all your good hard work in preparation, your projects, your experience, if your resume is not getting shortlisted, that's the blocker and you cannot move without that. So my applications were getting ignored. I was getting no interview call. Then I started understanding like why is it happening, why my resume is not getting shortlisted, and then I started to watch some videos, get in touch with Google recruiters and Amazon recruiters to understand how I can change my resume to at least get shortlisted. And then I made some changes in my resume which I'll be taking you through, that finally led to my resumes landing in not only 20 plus organizations but also big organizations like Amazon, Meta, and JP Morgan Chase. Alright, so let me walk you through my resume and show you the sections that I have. The first one is of course the name and contact details, which you can keep in first 2 lines, not more than that. The second one is the headline about me, so what I do and what I've achieved in last few years. The next one is overview, where I have listed down my overall summary in bullet points. This is like kind of it more aligns to the job description that they're looking for. And then comes the work experience section, where you can see that I've listed down all my roles and their responsibilities and the duration and my job title at that particular role. The last few things that come up is education and certification. So I've listed down my education, where I've listed my graduation and my advanced masters. I've also listed down my certifications that I hold. And I've listed down some of the volunteer work, where I have listed down that yes, I've been a speaker and an organizer. And the last thing is you can include your resumes. And in the very end, you see that I've listed down all my links, which again gives edge over the resumes. If you have some good projects listed on your Kaggle or your LinkedIn or your GitHub, and of course you can include any other tools that you specifically use and have a public presence of it. So now let me take you through how I tweaked my previous resume and came up to this resume, which turned out to be a winning resume for me. So the first thing that I want to share with you is make your resume simple. So on the left side, what you see is my resume, which I created in a very fancy way, which was eye-catchy and was listing my skills as a bar chart and then highlighting my tools and listing my experience. And I tried to create a one-pager, but it was not working out. So I cleared out the formatting, made it more readable. On the right side, you can see it's plain text with some bolds that can, attract. And as you would know that tools like ATS, which are application tracking system, are the first point where resume hits. So there's a bot that will read your resume. So formatting doesn't matter. If you give them a formatted resume, they make a better sense out of it, and hence your resume crosses the first barrier. So I would say focus on clean and structured formatting. That's all that is required for a good resume. Second thing that I would say is that choose a readable format. So you should avoid using fancy formats, over formatting your resume, and rather should focus on using fonts like Arial, Calibri, or if you're comfortable, you can also use Times New Roman. These fonts are industry accepted. They do not interfere in readability and make the readability more smooth. So avoid decorative stuff like, as you see on the left side, I've highlighted my skills, and on the right side, it's plain, old, simple text. So that makes more impact. The next thing that I would like to emphasize is add KPIs and add quantifiable results to your experience. For example, if you just list that manage the team of analysts, that is not quantifiable. I mean, nobody can measure how much was the team size, what was impact of it. So try to make it more quantifiable with measures, and try to come up with star kind of layout. So what was the situation, task, action, and results? So as you can see, if you change this to managed a team of 5 analysts, reducing reporting time by 20% in 3 months, that says that your team size was 5. The result was that you reduced the reporting error by 20%. So that's again quantifiable, and the timeline as well, that is 3 months. So that really makes a significant impact in interviewers' eyes that that's what you're doing. All right, so let me share with you the example of my latest resume. And if I scroll down to my work experience, you can see that all the things that I've listed has KPIs. For example, increased lead generation by 20%, reduced cash flow by 20% globally, and then build data pipeline, thus reducing error by 99%, reducing manual dependencies of 10 plus process, reducing workload by 34%, and so on. So before, I was not having these KPIs and it was not making that impact. Let me share the previous resume with you. So here you can see my previous resume that in most of the points there is no KPI listed, hence it was not that impactful. The bots were clearly able to figure out that KPIs are not listed in the resume. The next thing that I want to highlight is that you should try to align your resume to job descriptions. Not all jobs are same, hence not all resume should be same when you're applying for the job. If you are really serious about applying for a brand that you love to work for example, it can be Meta, Amazon, Netflix, or whatever you prefer, you should try to align to the job description and write a cover letter for that particular job. When I say about aligning to job description, what I say is that you should try to include as many keywords as possible which are listed in job description and that you should have in your resume as well. Try to emphasize the core skills that job description is trying to assess you on. While doing this, do not try to include things that you have not done if they are in job description. Only add those things that you're confident on or you have experience with. If you are not honest, the interviewer is going to catch you. That's the main thing that they are looking for. So try to be as honest as you can. Now let me share some examples with you on how to do this. Okay. So for example, here I have opened one of a job description which is from Meta, and the job says and the job is about data engineer for product analytics. And you can see that every job description has some roles and responsibilities. You can read through it and can figure out that let's say it says conceptualize your own data architecture for multiple large-scale applications. This is exactly what you can include in your resume, that I have good experience in conceptualizing large-scale projects. I have evaluated their design and architecture, and I have worked on improving the cost-benefit trade-off within the system. Similarly, for example, define and manage SLA for all data sets in allocated areas of ownership. You can include I have experience in managing SLAs for different data sets. Solve our most challenging data integration problem utilizing optimal ETL patterns, frameworks, query techniques, sourcing from structured and unstructured data sources. So for this, you can include that I have good experience working with structured and unstructured data sources. My passion revolves around optimizing ETL patterns. I've built good frameworks that can be utilized for data processing, and I have my own good ways of working, and I'm well experienced in performance tuning the queries. So this way you can fine tune your resume and align it to the job descriptions. This makes a huge impact on your resume getting shortlisted for the interview, and that's what you want, right? All right, the next thing that I want to highlight is edit and proofread thoroughly. So you have to go through multiple times through your resume, look through it, tweak it, again go through it, try to change it, look from different lenses, look from HR's lens, look from manager's lens, look from technical architect's lens, and try to see how your resume sounds, how your resume feels. Are you confident about everything that you have listed? Are you missing out on some points? Refine it at times. And you can use tools like Grammarly or ChatGPT, where you provided a reference script as to what you do, what are your projects, what you have experience in, and then it can provide you a bullet points or a formatted resume, and then you again go through it, edit it with your own personal touch, and that's how you make it. But especially few things to consider: do not have a spelling mistake, avoid having grammatical mistake, sound more professional, and use complete sentences. Now let me quickly cover some strategies about the level of experience you have. So if you are a fresher, I would say highlight your projects and skills at the top, because you must not be having some experience. So first thing can be your overview, then followed by your skills, and then followed by your projects. And in projects you can list down your KPIs, your achievements, your result, and so on. After that comes, if you're an experienced professional, you can showcase your career achievements. And if you're an experienced professional, I would say your experience matters the most. So start with a headline, an overview, and then all your experience comes. And lastly, you can put your education. The third thing is, if you are transitioning your career, let's say you're moving from software developer to data engineer, or from data analyst to data scientist, then your last experience will not matter that much. Rather, you have to showcase your work that is making you eligible for that career transition. So list down your headline, your overview, and then comes your projects. And these projects are like you have learned something new, let's say about data science, like machine learning, artificial intelligence. Showcase your projects around that, and then you can list down your past experience of data analyst or web developer or whatever. And lastly, I would say that your resume is going to be your first impression in the interviewer's eyes, in the HR's eyes. So you have to take time to make it perfect. It will not become perfect in the one go. You will have to go through it, refine it, tweak it, ask it from someone else's eyes, again refine it, try to add more KPIs, try to reduce down the formatting, try to make them simplified as much as possible, and always tailor your resume for each application. And if you still need any support, I'm more than happy to help. Drop a comment below and I'll find out some time to go with you personally on your resume journey. Alright guys, so if I look back, I can say that your resume is not just your summary, it's your story. It should scream out and tell that, look, this is what I am and this is why you should hire me. I hope these tips will help you in your journey to find a new job. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me through the social links or on LinkedIn, and I'll be more than happy to help you. If you have any questions, drop in the comment below and I'll make sure to read and reply them. Check out this other video where I share my interview experience with Amazon. It's very interesting and I'm sure it will help you down in your journey. Till then, thank you, hit the like button, take care, and goodbye.